On June 13th, 1994, two people were found butchered outside a Los Angeles townhouse: Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend, Ron Goldman. The killer left behind a bloody glove, a bloody footprint, a trail of blood drops leading directly to one man's estate. That man was OJ Simpson, NFL Hall of Famer, American icon, and according to a jury of 12, not guilty. This is the story of how OJ Simpson got away with it, and why the real verdict was never about innocence.
Orenthal James Simpson was not just famous, he was untouchable. 3 decades before this trial, he was running touchdowns at USC, then the NFL, then Hollywood, Hertz commercials, endorsements. Everybody loved OJ. He married Nicole Brown in 1985. She was 26, he was 37. Beautiful couple. American dream. But behind closed doors, police had already responded to Nicole's home multiple times for domestic violence calls. OJ had already pled no contest to beating her in 1989. The warning signs were there. Nobody wanted to see them. Because when you're OJ Simpson, you get the benefit of the doubt. You always have.
June 12th, 1994, a Sunday. Nicole had taken her children to a dance recital. OJ was there. Witnesses would later say he looked angry, watching her, fixated. That evening, Nicole called a friend and said she was scared, said OJ had been following her. At around 10 p.m., her dog, a large Akita, began howling through the neighborhood. Neighbors found him wandering, paws covered in blood. They followed the dog back to 875 South Bundy Drive. Nicole Brown Simpson was found at the bottom of her front steps. Her throat had been slashed so deeply she was nearly decapitated. Ron Goldman, who had stopped by to return her mother's glasses, was found just feet away, stabbed over 30 times. The attack was frenzied, personal. This was not a robbery. This was rage. The evidence against OJ Simpson was, by almost any standard, overwhelming. At the crime scene, a size 12 shoe print in a raw Bruno Magli style. OJ wore size 12. He was later photographed wearing Bruno Magli shoes at a game. Photos he denied existed. 30 photographs surfaced, proving otherwise. A bloody glove at the scene matched one found behind OJ's mansion by Detective Mark Furman. OJ had a deep cut on the middle finger of his left hand, the glove hand, with no explanation for how it got there. Blood drops along the path from Nicole's body led to a white Ford Bronco parked outside OJ's estate. Inside, blood matching both victims. In OJ's bedroom, a travel bag he urgently requested be removed before police arrived. His own blood was found at the crime scene. Nicole's blood was found in his car. Ron Goldman's blood was found in his car. DNA testing, still relatively new in 1994, confirmed the matches at astronomical probability. 1 in 170 million. 1 in 21 billion. Under any normal circumstances, this case ends in conviction before lunch. The defense team OJ assembled was unlike anything a criminal trial had seen before. They called themselves the Dream Team, and they didn't try to prove OJ was innocent. They tried to prove the system was corrupt. Johnny Cochran, brilliant, theatrical, made the trial about race, about the LAPD's long history of brutalizing black men. And in a city still raw from the Rodney King beating and the riots that followed,
that argument landed. Detective Mark Furman, the man who found the second glove, was caught on tape using racial slurs over 40 times. He had previously claimed he'd never used the word. Cochran called him a liar, a racist who planted evidence. The jury believed it.
Then there was the glove demonstration. Cochran told the jury, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." OJ struggled to pull on the glove in open court. What the jury didn't know, leather shrinks when soaked in blood. OJ had also reportedly stopped taking his arthritis medication in the weeks before the demonstration, causing his hands to swell. The defense also attacked the LAPD's evidence handling. Samples were stored improperly. Chain of custody was sloppy. They suggested the blood was planted, a conspiracy by corrupt white detectives. And piece by piece, they dismantled the prosecution's credibility, not the evidence itself, the credibility of the people presenting it. The jury deliberated for less than 4 hours.
October 3rd, 1995. The verdict was read live on national television. 250 million Americans stopped what they were doing. Not guilty. On all counts. The reaction split the country straight down the middle. Black Americans who had watched the LAPD operate for decades. Many cheered. White Americans who had watched the evidence presented for months. Many wept. OJ walked free. 3 years later, a civil court told a different story. The Goldman and Brown families sued for wrongful death. The standard of proof in a civil court is lower, not beyond reasonable doubt, but a preponderance of evidence. The jury took less than 2 days.
They found OJ Simpson liable for both deaths and ordered him to pay $33.5 million in damages. OJ never paid it. He lived in Florida, a state where pension income could not be seized to satisfy a civil judgment. He played golf. He signed memorabilia for money. He lived. In 2007, he was arrested in Las Vegas for armed robbery and kidnapping over a sports memorabilia dispute. He claimed he was just trying to recover his own property. He was convicted, sentenced to 33 years. Some people call that karma.
He died in April 2024 of prostate cancer at age 76. He never confessed. He never showed public remorse. He went to his grave maintaining his innocence. The OJ Simpson trial didn't just produce a verdict. It exposed something about America that people had spent decades not wanting to say out loud. That the justice system is not a machine, it's a stage. And whoever controls the narrative controls the outcome. The prosecution had the evidence. The defense had the story, and the story won. Was OJ Simpson guilty? The evidence says yes. Overwhelmingly, brutally, undeniably yes.
But guilt and conviction are two different things. And in 1994 Los Angeles, with that jury, in that moment, they were not the same. Nicole Brown Simpson was 35 years old when she died. Ron Goldman was 25. They never got a verdict. The question we're leaving with you today is this, and we want your honest answer in the comments. Do you think OJ Simpson actually got away with murder? Or do you think there was enough reasonable doubt to justify that not guilty verdict? Drop your take below. And if you think someone in your life needs to hear this story, share it with them. We'll see you in the next one.